Hi friends, it's Ellen from EVPL Oakland. Welcome to Chapter Book Storytime. On this week's edition of the Variety Pack, I have a book with a very interesting title. It's what made me pick it up and what kept me reading. It's really kind of a crazy story. It's called It's the End of the World and I'm in My Bathing Suit by Justin A. Reynolds. So the first question that popped into my head when I read this was, he's in his bathing suit, so what? What's the big deal about that? I mean, it looks like it's summer on the cover. All the other kids have summer clothes. I wonder what that means. And then, the end of the world? I mean, really the end of the world? You know how some people exaggerate when something bad happens. For example, they might say, oh my gosh, my grocery store ran out of my favorite kind of ice cream. It's the end of the world. Is it that kind of end of the world, or is it some other kind? That made me pick up the book and want to read it. The narrator is one of my favorite kinds of narrators. It's the main character, Eddie Gordon Holloway. And what I like about it is he talks directly to us. So when I have a narrator like that in a book, it always makes me feel that I'm going to be let in on some secrets, and that maybe the narrator's taking me into his confidence, is going to tell me some secrets. So I always like that kind of narrator. And Eddie Gordon Holloway, right from the beginning, lets us know that he's got our back. An extremely brief note from our storytelling master, Eddie Gordon Holloway, who is about to hook you up. Yo, what up? Before we jump into this story, first I'm going to hook you up. I know, you can hardly believe it, right? I mean, how many books have you read that took care of you off rip? But listen, don't even worry about it. Consider this a little something to let you know I've got your back. You can thank me later. Okay, so look, when someone sees me reading, I already know what's coming. It's always the same two questions. Question number one, you could probably guess. Hey Eddie, what book you reading? This one's easy to answer, although honestly, it would be kind of weird to admit, actually, I'm reading my own book. Anyway, question number two is where they try to get you, smiling at you. They're all like, hey Eddie, what chapter are you on? Now, listen, I have zero problem saying, oh, hey, I'm on chapter 1. I mean, if I'm actually on chapter 1. If I'm on chapter 57, obviously I say 57. But let's be real. Whoever is asking what chapter you're on is probably checking up on you, which you gotta admit is a pretty solid teacher, librarian, parent, babysitter, are you really doing your work question. And if you're only on chapter 1, chances are you're probably not really working. That's where I come in. Since you're reading this book the way I see it, that makes us friends. And since we're friends, I'm going to hook you up because that's what I do for my friends. So yeah, instead of starting with chapter 1, we're starting at chapter 100. Yep, you heard me. This story kicks off at chapter 100. That way, if anyone asks, you can tell the truth. I'm on chapter 5700. And you won't be lying. My mom says this is called being irreverent. I just call it doing what we want. So, ha! In your face, regular old chapter numbers. I told you I got you. Chapter 100. On the third day of summer vacation, I devised the perfect 3-month plan. It all started when I lost that entire first weekend and half a Monday to more chores than should even be legal, including the chore I hate the most, also known as the chore that shall not be named. Fine, I'll spell it. L-A-U-N-D-R-Y. Yep, the bright red cherry atop my dirty clothes pile. Listen, I know what you're thinking. What's the big deal with doing a little laundry, Eddie? The washer and dryer do all the work, right? Wrong. Okay, technically you're right. The machines are a lifesaver. Mom made me watch this boring documentary where this kid my age, 12 if it matters to you, is hand scrubbing clothes against a block of wood for hours, which, brutal. And you want to know how you determined the clothes were clean enough? When your arm fell off. So yes, it could definitely be worse. But even still, laundry isn't simply pushing the start button and kicking back. Nope, it's a whole process. First you sort whites, colors, and if you have my mom, Reds and pinks, partial whites, pastels, earth tones, delicates, etc. Next you load the washer, which always, always, always leads to a trail of dropped socks and underwear along the way. Then you wait for the "your clothes are ready" buzzer, and you try not to get too caught up playing basketball ballers 3K. And the dryer, sheesh, you better select the right temperature. Choose wrong and your favorite t-shirt shrinks to a washcloth. And can someone please tell me the point of folding and stuffing your clothes into drawers if you're only going to wear them again the next day? Yep, that's why I devised the perfect plan, and here it is. I'm only doing laundry once this entire summer. But Eddie, how is that even possible, you ask? I'll tell you how, my friends. I'd wear every piece of clothing that I had. That's right, all of it. That ugly Christmas sweater, despite the fact that it's been hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk, didn't let that stop me. Nope, I rolled up those scratchy green sleeves and did what needed to be done. That awful shirt my uncle got me with the dancing hippo, sporting a backwards Kangol hat and Adidas shell shoes that says, "I'm a hip-hop-hotamus," in huge gold letters. Rocked it last Thursday. The Bronster's still laughing about it. Those palm tree Bermuda shorts that I stuffed in the back of my bottom drawer because they're wide enough to be a parachute? Wore those last Tuesday, and the wind nearly carried me away. But it would have been worth it. Seriously, I could have floated to the moon, and I'd still have zero regrets. Because if the plan's gonna work, well, I've got to do whatever it takes. Wear whatever it takes. End of story. And according to my careful wardrobe calculations, all these necessary combinations would get me halfway through summer, with one last outfit. My swim trunks, just in time for beach bash. After that, I'd throw everything into the wash and be good until school started back up. Kind of brilliant, right? Feel free to borrow it. But, only if you want to minimize your chores and maximize your fun. I know what you're thinking, but Eddie, why would your parents let you get away with this? Well, that's easy because we made the deal. Chapter 200. If I agreed to take care of myself for the whole summer, making my own sandwiches for lunch, cleaning up after myself, and we've already discussed doing my own stinking laundry, pun intended, I'd be granted complete and utter freedom. How could I pass that up? It was the perfect setup, a win-win situation. My mom got to worry about me less all summer, and me, I got to be worried less about. Everyone got what they wanted. Everyone was happy. I mean, with a deal that sweet, what could possibly go wrong, right? 40 days later, I had my answer. It's everything, guys. Everything's gone wrong. Except not even that kind of wrong, but still not horrible way. Not even that, okay, this is definitely bad way. No, things got bad. Really, really, really bad. The type of bad where everything you thought you knew, you're like, wait, now I'm not so sure. Your brain's all screwed up like, hold on, is up actually down? You think I'm exaggerating? Well, fine. How about you see for yourself? But remember, I warned you. I'm going to skip ahead to chapter 400. First off, there's dragons. I'm back in my room, going about my Saturday morning, devouring my bowl of Fruit Loops and burning the entire city of Carcassonne to the ground. I mean, I'm going to town, literally. It's pretty flippin' awesome. Totally worth standing in line for 2 hours to make sure I got a copy of Dragon Insurgents 2 on release day. Because now I'm just flying my happy dragon self back and forth across the medieval sky, breathing fire on anything and everything. And while fire is shooting out of my mouth on the screen, I'm dreaming of something much colder in my real one. Are you ready for this? An extra large, triple berry tongue, slap your brain stupid, silly, super slushy. Seriously, I've been fantasizing about it for weeks now. Lucky for me, in less than an hour, I'll be feasting on cup after cup of that red and blue swirled frozen goodness. Because today is Beach Bash, the biggest party of the entire year. A day when every Cartervillian, that's our town, Carterville, flocks to the shore for ultimate fun in the sun. I'm dreaming of juicy bacon cheeseburgers, ketchup running down my chin, of neon fireworks bursting above us in the evening sky, and the live band music. I love the calypsos. If I didn't know better, I'd swear I could already hear those soulful melodies wafting through the air. Oh, wait, it's because I can hear them. The 𝑡'HEs are our unofficial neighborhood band. They must be warming up in Mr. Arnold's garage right now, running through one last pre-bash jam session. Wait a minute. I think, tap, tap. I think someone's at my door. Knock, knock. Yep, there it is again. Knock confirmed. Probably Mom asking what soda I want to toss in our family cooler. Normally, Mom's very anti-soda, but for the beach bash, she makes an exception. Like I said, it's a celebration. Eddie, you in there? Yes, Mom. My bedroom door opens slowly. Eddie, I want to... Smiling, I interrupt her. Cherry cream, thank you very much. Cherry cream? Mom's forehead wrinkles in confusion. What about it? My smile fades. Oh, sorry, I figured you were going to ask about soda. No, Eddie, Mom says. Eddie, why are you dressed like you're ready for a swim? We're not leaving for the beach for a little bit. Mom is referring to the fact that I'm sitting here eating my cereal and nothing but my pink with green pineapples glow in the dark swim trunks. Wait, I say, throwing up my hands like I'm a school crossing guard. I got it all covered. I point down. See? It was worth it for this. Every mismatched sock combination, that pair of boxers that was too tight, and the other pair that was too loose, all leading to today. My absolute last item of clean clothing. All 5 of my dresser drawers, totally empty. My closet racked, nothing but unoccupied plastic hangers as far as the eye can see. Mom glances down and frowns. What am I seeing? What are you seeing? I repeat. Only the culmination of my most brilliant plan yet. That's what you're seeing. Mom crosses her arms. She doesn't look convinced at all. Why do I have a feeling I'm going to regret this? She asks. You won't, I promise. All I need is 2 minutes to explain, and then you'll see. Everything will make sense. Mom lets out a sigh that could fill a hot air balloon. Okay, you've got 2 minutes to explain your brilliant plan. But I'm warning you, this better be good, Eddie. A grin spreads across my lips because good happens to be my middle name. Okay, actually it's Gordon, but come on, they both start with G. All right, we're wasting valuable time here. This is the part where I tell her the plan, minus the part where I complained about watching that washing board documentary, of course. Except surprisingly, unlike most perfectly understanding and super smart humans, Mom doesn't appreciate the brilliance. In fact, she actually looks disgusted. Oh, please tell me you're joking, Eddie Gordon Holloway. Uh-oh, she used my full name. I don't think I need to tell you that's never good. I'm not joking. Look, we agreed that as long as I took care of myself and did my chores, you didn't care if... Eddie, have you lost your whole mind? Mom interrupts. Okay, so maybe when Mom and I made the deal, I left out the part that I would only be doing laundry once all summer. But I was supposed to be taking care of myself, which means making these types of in-charge decisions. As long as I got the laundry done, I did my part, right? I shake my head. No, ma'am, I say. Not my whole mind, ma'am. And listen, I'm going to be real. I don't normally say ma'am or sir, like at all. I mean, I'm an advocate for being respectful or whatever, but every time I hear someone say ma'am or sir, it's like I'm ripped back in time to 1734. Excuse me, ma'am, can you point me in the direction of that washboard? Sir, will you please stop apologizing about my arms falling off? That's why I have 2, am I right? But this is different. Because in times like this, when the wrath of Mom is threatening to rain down on my village like dragon fire, swiftly ending my fun for the foreseeable future, I do whatever it takes to survive, whatever's necessary to remind them that in the end, I'm actually a pretty good kid. I mostly stay out of trouble. I get good grades. At times like this, you can't hold back. You've got to really pour on that parental respect. But I get the feeling I won't be going back to my dragon flying anytime soon. Where is your laundry right now, Eddie? I hesitate. Right now? A loud shriek erupts from my TV because apparently I forgot to pause my game, and my now badly wounded dragon has paid the price, yowling as she plummets to her doom. And yeah, it's kind of hard not to take this as a bad sign. Mom shifts her weight to the other leg and is now posed in a position I like to call the "boy, I'm not playing with you" stance. To be fair, most days, my mom's pretty reasonable. I mean, you know, for an old person anyway. She's at least 34. But when Mom shifts herself into this position, you've already lost. Because that sound you hear, that's the very last drops of her reasoning ability draining from her body. When you see this stance, you better tell the truth. To get right to it, to rip off the Band-Aid. I nod toward my closet, and she follows my eyes toward its hollow, fake wood double doors. The closet? She confirms. I nod again, prepared for a full-blown lecture, but entirely not prepared for what actually transpires next. Because it all happened so fast. Had I known what she was about to do, I would have stopped her, but... Eddie, all I know is you better... She walks across to my room and grabs the knob of my closet door. No! I yell, flinging myself in Mom's direction. I attempt to dive in front of her, but I'm too late. She turns the knob, and immediately a low rumbling sound starts inside the closet. Mom turns to me, a startled look on her face, her hand already pulling. Mom, no! Don't open that door! I exclaim. But it's already done. The rumbling rises to a sharp, roaring crescendo as an avalanche of my dirty clothes collapses, sweeping me and Mom off our feet in a wave of dingy tank tops and grass-stained blue jeans crashing to the floor. I wish I were exaggerating, but it's true. When the rumbling finally stops, there's not a single spot in my room that isn't blanketed in funky laundry. And when I say every spot is covered, I mean it. Because when I turn to Mom and see her current state, I'm speechless, and not in a good way. No, there is zero good about this. Somehow, draped across the top of her head are my dirty blue and white striped drawers. Leave me alone, they're nautical, which is bad enough in itself. Except these were the drawers I'd worn on the very first day of my laundry plan. As in 40 days ago. As in they've had over a month to stew and marinate in their own stinky awfulness. All I can do is hope Mom doesn't notice, that she moves to stand up and my underwear falls harmlessly off her head, down her back, and onto the floor. But as I watch her nose slide up and her face twist in sheer horror, I know my luck has officially run out. Eddie, Mom says without actually opening her mouth, her teeth gritted tightly together. Yeah, best mom in the whole wide world, I say, trying to lay the charm on thick in one last desperate attempt to avoid punishment. Do I have dirty undies on my head? Mom asks. I shrug, force out a smile. I prefer to think of it as my dirty undies have you under their bottoms, I say, adding a mouthful of uncomfortable laughter. Eddie Gordon Holloway, until you do every ounce of this laundry. I hold up my hands. Oh, no, Mama, please, don't say it, please. You will not be going. I desperately wave my hands in the air like I'm an air traffic controller, trying to guide a plane down for an emergency landing. No, Mama, please, don't say it. To Beach Bash. She said it. And look, I'm not going to be extra dramatic and tell you that my heart stops or that all of a sudden it's hard to breathe, but okay, never mind. I am going to be that dramatic. I can't breathe. My heart stopped. Good night forever. So long. Farewell. That's me signing all the way off. I'm dead. You might think that's the end of the world that Eddie's talking about in the title of the book, but it's not. It gets worse. Now, Eddie tries to appeal to his mom that this is the best day ever and how could she keep him at home, but she's not listening. The stepdad, he tries to appeal to the stepdad and tries to butter him up, but the stepdad's not buying it either. He follows Mom's orders. But he does say, I'll cut you a deal. As soon as you're done with the laundry, text me and I'll come get you and bring you to the beach bash. So that's something. Gives him more incentive to get the laundry done right away. So he's home alone, starting to do the laundry. I'm moving up to chapter 1700. Naturally, I stuff as much laundry into the washer as humanly possible, completely ignoring Mom's voice in my head warning me of the danger. Eddie, don't overfill the washing machine unless you want it to explode and turn the basement into a swimming pool. Because, sorry Mom, but one, finishing quickly is worth any risk, and, yes, I'd love an indoor all-seasons pool, are you kidding me? I mean, we live in Ohio, otherwise known as the Buckeye State, the Heartland, and the place where it's exceptionally cold 9.5 months out of 12. A heated indoor pool? Sign me up. I press a few buttons like Mom taught me, and I turn the selector dial to normal load, which is weird, just let me say, because number one, how do they expect you to know your load is normal? And two, how does that make all the other loads feel when they're categorized as non-normal? Like, has anyone thought of that? I mean, it's bad enough we're separating clothes by colors, but now we're judging their normalcy? That's what's not normal, if you ask me, but whatevs. I flip Mom's laundry binder manual to the next page. Centered, underlined, and in bold type at the top of the page is one word: detergent. Yes, you heard that right. Eddie's mom has a binder full of instructions on how to do laundry. She's very particular on how it's done, how to use the detergent, how to use the bleach, how to use the dryer sheet. So this is not going to be very quick to get started. But finally he does, and he does remember something that his stepdad told him: be sure to use the quick wash cycle so it gets done faster. So I guess his stepdad did help him out after all. So he starts the washer, goes upstairs, and decides he's going to go out to get the mail. And that's where things get weird. Chapter 1800. Is there anything worse than when you're walking along, minding your own business, and then out of nowhere, crash, bang, boom, you're viciously assaulted? But who's doing the assaulting, Eddie, and why? Well, it's easier if I tell you who's not doing it. Nope, your attacker is not the attention-seeking bully from school. You know, the kids whose awful behavior is constantly glossed over by adults, your stepdad included, as a kid who's only stealing your lunch money, stuffing you into lockers, and calling you Edie because the truth is they're lonely and desperate for a friend. Because yes, nothing says let's be eternal besties more than theft. I mean, I get loneliness sucks, but that's what TikTok's for, no? And no, the attacker's not even orchestrated by the Bronster, or as he's more commonly known as, the officially recognized worst human being ever to breathe on this planet and likely any other planet with yet to be discovered alien life forms. That's his brother. Okay, I see now that nickname could stand to be a shade shorter, and sure, while we're at it, maybe a tad less harsh. But to be fair, it's also completely accurate. Hey, it's not my fault the truth hurts. Eddie, not to be pushy, but we're wondering if you could maybe just tell us who the assailant actually is. You know, if that's cool. I'm strutting out to our mailbox, crazy frustrated that I'm spending my day in a basement instead of the beach. That's when I hear a low woof, woof, woof. Now I know that can't be on the TV because I'm outside, and I turn around, a big smile on my face. Well, hi, hey boy, hey Mr. Bubbles. Mr. Bubbles is sort of the shared neighborhood dog, although if any of us had our way, Mr. Bubbles wouldn't be spending so much time out living in the streets. And that's when Mr. Bubbles takes his cue to jump right into my legs. I go down hard, like flip-flops flying in the air, pile of human on the grass hard. To be real, I've never seen Mr. Bubbles make contact with someone. Not even when you take him to the park and he starts chasing the ducks everywhere and they let him get close enough to nudge them. He doesn't. What's freaking him out so bad, I wonder? I'm lying on my back when I look up to the sky. That's when I notice that the real culprit of the earlier mentioned assault is not the giant dog that took my legs out. No, it's much worse. It's the worst luck of all time that clobbered me. Chapter 1900. Someone set off enough fireworks to blanket not just Carterville, the city, but all of Carterville County, too. The distinct whistle of fireworks whizzed through the bright blue sky, followed by a bang, pop, crackle, bang, crackle, as each explodes into vibrant electric eruptions. The fireworks show is hands-on my favorite beach bash tradition. Except it's barely even 11 in the morning yet. Fireworks aren't set off until 9 at night. And I know what you're thinking. Eddie, I'm sure there's some other reasonable explanation for this. Probably some teenagers snuck away to an isolated part of the beach to let off some fireworks of their own. Which, fair. Every year people use the bash as an excuse to produce their own light show. Except, shooting fireworks off during the day is just a waste of fireworks. The whole point is watching them explode against a dark sky. Something about the way these look make me uneasy. First, Mr. Bubbles is acting weird, and now this. This feeling makes me retreat back into the house, but I'm too curious about what's happening out there to leave it alone. I need to get a better look. I decide the best place to get a better look is on the second floor. So I hit the stairs, scampering up to where our bedrooms all sit. But my bedroom's not an option since it's on the back of the house, and while Mom doesn't like me hanging out in her room when she's not around, I don't even consider creeping into the Bronsters' room. If Mom catches me in her room, it's probably just a long, boring lecture. But if the Bronster finds me even lurking in close proximity to his bedroom door, it's going to be World War II. So, Mom's room it is. I climb outside the small second-floor balcony shared between this room and the Bronsters. I scan the sky with my binoculars. I'd forgotten how awesome these things really are. I can see all the way out to the exact launching point for all the fireworks. I smile as the colorful aerial eruptions intensify. I gotta say, the Beach Bash Planning Committee really went out on the light show this year. Sheesh. I can only imagine what this would have looked like at night. What a waste. Except wait, the launch point doesn't make sense. There's no way these are being set off at the beach. No, these are erupting maybe a mile past the beach, out in the water. I scan the waves thinking maybe there's a ship out there, or at least some boat, which doesn't seem like the safest way to light this many rockets and flares, but what do I know? A thorough scan of the horizon and waves confirms the fireworks are not being triggered from anything out of this on the sea. In fact, stranger still, I can't find one sailboat, one ship, not even a sea-doo skipping across the lake, which would make sense if there were thunderstorms brewing. But it's 82 degrees with not a single cloud in the sky. Still, there's nothing out there as far as I can see. Chapter 2000. Of course, none of what I just said makes a lick of sense. You can't ever see the people on the beach from this angle. It's too far. And it's got to be just a coincidence that there aren't any crafts out on the water. I probably checked right at the time when everyone was docked for the dance party. It's clear what's really happening here. My brain is so messed up over not being at the beach bash right now, it's playing tricks on me. I check the clock on Mom's bedside table and see that my laundry should be done right now. So I race down the stairs and back into the basement. My first load complete, I'm transferring my clean but very wet clothes into the dryer when an important life question pops into my brain. Is there anything wetter in the entire world, water aside, than wet jeans? I dump the next armful in and slam the lid. I select Quick Wash, feeling a surge of happy flow through my body as I press start and the machine chugs to life. I'm not ashamed to say I'm still feeling pretty proud of that laundry hack. I stand back in front of the little window and check out the view again when it all starts. Or, I suppose more accurately, that's when things come to a complete stop. The dryer goes dead, sending all the clothes inside ricocheting off each other. The washing machine clicks off and the water stops rushing in. And on top of that, the lights go suddenly dark. Standing in the depths of our pitch black basement, yeah, I'm definitely getting, okay, this is bad. This is really bad. I'm gonna die. No, I'm not just gonna die. I'm gonna die alone in my creepy basement, surrounded by dirty clothes and stupid laundry sheet vibes. Don't judge me. I already told you. I hate basements. Most of all, so dark you can't see anything basements. I tap the power button on the washing machine, even though I already know it's not going to work because duh, power's out. But you got to rule out the stupid stuff first, you know? Clearly we're dealing with a trip breaker or something, and the breaker box is down here, so I'm good. I check my phone. 47% charged. Okay, it's on the wrong side of halfway mark, but it's not terrible. I switch the flashlight app on and head to the opposite corner of the basement, feeling my way along the walls. Of course, this isn't my first outage. There's been a few times, usually triggered by a bad storm, where the lights are suddenly flickering and then boom, just like that, every plugged-in thing, dishwasher, TV, fridge, the hot water heater, came to a grinding halt. I make my way over to the power box and pop it open. There are rows of switches. The whole house's power right here in this box. I shine the light to the grid that lists which switches for which room. Basement. I flick it. Nothing. I try it again. Nope. So I do the only thing I can think of. I flip them all like when you're in an elevator and you hit every button. No lights. No sound of the dryer starting back up. The only thing I hear, my heart thumping against my ribs. And the only thing I feel, a sharp, hot sensation prickling under my skin, shooting up from my knees into my back and my neck, a feeling more commonly known as scared out of my stupid mind. And yeah, all that "it's cool, Eddie, you're not dead yet" stuff, that was dumb. I take that all back, because I'm absolutely positively going to die down here amid boxes of junk and mildew and dryer sheets. Maybe it'll be from some ugly basement creature who's been waiting for a moment like this to devour me. Or, maybe I'll just die from fear. Either way, I'm 100%, without question, no doubt about it, gonna die in my basement, alone, during laundry, on what should have been the best day of my young life. Since Eddie doesn't want to die in the basement, he decides to go upstairs, and that's when he hears it. Thump, thump, thump. Wait, listen, I think it's coming from the front of the house. Yeah, it is. I think someone's knocking on the front door. Thump, thump, thump. Yeah, someone's definitely knocking at the door. I sneak over to the window, try to peek out, but they're standing too close to the door, so our porch swings blocking my view. Shoot. Well, I'm definitely not opening the door if I don't know who it is. Honestly, there's a good chance I won't open it even if I did know. For one thing, we're not supposed to have company over when Mom or Stepdad aren't home. And secondly, chances are it's not anyone I actually want to see. Unexpected visitor person raps on the door again. Thump, thump, thump. This time even louder, the sound echoing in my living room as if it were coming from inside my house. Whoever it is standing out there on my porch, they seem pretty eager to get someone to come to the door, which in my book is all the more reason not to answer it. Oldest trick in the book of old tricks. The old knock as loud as if you have something urgent to say to someone to open the door trick. Ha, not on my watch, buddy. But what if it is someone with actual urgent news? What if, like, Mom sent this person to give me a really important message? What if, oh my God, what if something happened to Mom? No, Eddie, you're not going to do that. You're not going to go there. I wag my head trying to shake that thought out of my brain. Or what if Mom sent a message that she's changed her mind and I should come to the beach bash now after all? Yeah, right. Does that seem like something my mom would do? Thump, thump, thump. Geez, this person isn't taking silence for an answer, but they'll have to give up eventually, right? All I got to do is hold my ground and then, I don't know, either they decide to try again later or they scribble a note and leave it at the door. At this point, I don't really care what they do as long as it ends up in them leaving. Like now. But then the most unexpected thing from the unexpected visitor person happens. They yell, "Come on, I know you're in there, open the door." But they don't just yell, they, "Open the stupid door, Eddie." They yell my name. Eddie decides to open the door, and it's his best friend, Xavier. Turns out he was home that morning too. He hadn't gone to the beach bash yet, and the power went off at his house too, right in the middle of a haircut. He looks ridiculous, and Eddie makes sure to tease him about it. But they decide to walk around the neighborhood, and they find their other friends. The power is off all over town, and they have no idea what's going on. They decide to wait till their parents come home. But night comes, and the parents don't return. What is going on? It's the end of the world, and I'm in my bathing suit. Well, we know now why he was in his bathing suit, but now we need to know, where are the parents? This is by Justin A. Reynolds. It's available in print at EVPL. You can ask for it at your favorite branch. Thanks so much for joining me today for EVPL's Chapter Book Storytime. I hope you enjoyed my story and hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.